to the Soul Fire podcast, where healing is raw, truth is sacred, and your story gets to burn and rebuild in the same breath. I'm Power Coach Alicia, pattern breaker, soul mirror, fire starter, and the unapologetic voice of the burn it down and rise anyways revolution. We don't fluff your wounds, we don't filter your truth, and we don't water down healing so that people stay comfortable. You've spent way too damn long proving your worth to people who only love the version of you that stayed small, quiet, and convenient. If you've ever swallowed your truth to keep the peace, shrunk yourself to stay chosen, or disappeared in your life, this season isn't just a reset or another motivational podcast. This is where you reclaim your voice, your fire, and your fucking self. I'll give you the truth that heals, frameworks that hold, and soul codes that will change how you live, lead, love, and rise. Lovey, come forward. It's time for you to embody your wholeness. And I'm not only leading this season, I'm living it right beside you. Let's fucking go. Okay, I got to talk to you about something that I feel like is so important to me, because I've always been somebody that's like, empire, build my empire, empire builder, you know, like that kind of personality. And then I have really connected to like queen royalty throne, like reconnected to it. I used to always call myself a queen when I was younger. For Mother's Day this year, Daniel made me this badass fucking like wooden LED sign, and it says Queen Alicia on it. And then in the middle, there's an A with a crown on it. And like he customized it from zero to this. Like he came up with it in his fucking mind and created it for me. It was my Mother's Day gift, and it's fucking badass. And he added the LEDs and everything to it, and it's so, so, so cool. And so we're going to be talking about building your queendom. Okay. Today is about building your soul queendom and what it actually takes. You know, there's the kingdom. This is about your queendom. And listen, when you think about building your queendom, you're probably mostly thinking about it from like a perspective of business that makes money. However, your queendom is a business where your soul is aligned, your wealth is flowing, and you're building something that feels as good as it looks. And the way that you know that is because your insides are on fucking fire and excited, high on life, significant, fulfilled, like fuck yes sort of way. But most women never build their soul queendom, ever, because they think that what's going to create that queendom is the strategy that they follow. If I just do this strategy, then I'll build it. I'll get there. And then you do it and it doesn't work. And then you feel like a failure. And then you start over. Or you think, if I just heal, then I can. So it's like strategy alone or healing alone. When really it's about the merge. And we've talked about this before on the podcast. And if you don't know who I am, I'm Power Coach Alicia, and I specialize in helping badass women exceed their income goals without starting over every time something feels like it fails, by aligning their strategy with their birth chart, soul, and wealth blueprint. And today, I'm going to be showing you what it actually takes to build your soul queendom. Now, the reason why it's not called a business queendom and it's called a soul queendom, because this queendom, it will house your business, your mind, your body, your soul, your relationships. It's housing all of the most important things. Like, consider it like your wealth, your health, your relationships. And then, of course, that's your happiness, your abundance, your aliveness, you feeling full of light and love. And, you know, it layers those things in there. So it starts with your soul queendom. Okay, so here's what a soul queendom is. On the wealth side, it's a business that exceeds your income goals. It's income that's sustainable, right? And it's a strategy that builds momentum, financial freedom that supports your fucking life. A business that exceeds your income goals, income that's sustainable, a strategy that builds momentum, and financial freedom that supports your life. Now, on the soul side, it's a business that feels aligned with your design. work that fulfills you, a rhythm that nourishes your soul, and a legacy that reflects your values. All right. Now, that's the soul side of business. Now, on the soul side of life that the queendom brings to you, is high quality relationships with a high emotional intelligence, like a high emotional EQ in those relationships with self awareness and their own emotional regulation. But the same thing for you, right? Your own self awareness, a high level of emotional intelligence for you, a high level of you managing your own emotions. That's like the soul life. You'll be such a different sort of leader in your life, and the way that you show up for yourself, your kids, your partner, your friends, your parents, your, whatever, your family, siblings, whatever, everything will shift because of this work you're doing. So you have the wealth side, you have the soul side of wealth, and then you have the soul side of life. And this merge is what creates your soul queendom. And it's where your wealth blueprint and your soul blueprint, they come together. Where you're making money and feeling whole, where you're building wealth and healing your soul, where your business strategy and your soul purpose are the same thing. Money and feeling whole, building wealth and healing your soul, and where your business strategy and your soul purpose are the same thing, not separate. That's what you're here to build with me. Okay? Is this merge, this blend, your soul queendom. So now it's about, what does it take to build that queendom? Because I'm sure that that's what you're thinking about. So layer number one of your soul queendom is knowing your birth chart wealth blueprint. Okay. Knowing your birth chart wealth blueprint. If you don't know this, if you don't understand it, if it doesn't make sense to you, then you can't live it, right? That's what I'm here for, is to help you learn it so that you can read it, so that you can study it, so that you can fall in love with yourself more and more and more every single day, and increase your wealth more and more and more every single day. Okay? Because you can only build a soul queendom if you know your design. That's how you make money, what you're meant to be known for, and why your soul is here. That's your map. And without it, you're just guessing. But with it, you're designing your soul queendom. So, layer two to your soul queendom is aligning your strategy with your design. Your strategy is what you do to make money, and it has to align with your wealth blueprint, with that design, or it's going to fall flat. Once you know your blueprint, you align your strategy. So in layer two, you're going to build the income model that matches your second house of how you make money. Then you're going to show up in the way that your 10th house is designed for. That's your visibility, right? And then you're going to follow your north node, or your north star, if you will, because that's the direction you're going. This is the wealth blueprint side of your soul queendom. Okay. An income model that matches your second house, not what's worked for someone else. It's what literally is designed to work for you. Showing up in a way of your 10th house of visibility, right? Not how you think you should be promoting and being visible and marketing, but what you're designed for. And then, like I said, following that north node path, not the path that looks the safest or the quickest cash or what other people expect of you or what people think you should do, but what your north node path is, and literally what your soul came here to do. That's the well side, like I said, of your soul queendom. Now, layer three is your soul healing. And this is where you heal the blocks to your design. Because yeah, you're designed for this, but if you don't heal the blocks, you're going to keep getting in the way and sabotaging yourself. Because strategy alone is only what will move it forward if you're healed. And we talked about this in the last episode. That's that worthiness wound around, Chiron, the wounded healer. That makes you sabotage receiving. Okay. If you don't heal it, you're going to sabotage receiving. Then there's your subconscious patterns, and that's from the 12th house. And those are what makes you abandon the strategies that are actually aligned for you. And so you heal those subconscious patterns of abandoning things. And then you heal the fear of being seen through Saturn. You use Saturn and do the healing work that way. And then your emotional wounds in your fourth house that make you feel unsafe with money, right? Again, we talked about this in the last episode. This is the soul blueprint side of your soul queendom. Layer four is trusting the fucking process. And it's the hardest part because no one ever tells you this when you're building your soul queendom. It takes time, and it's going to take more time than you believe it's going to take. And instead of assigning a meaning to it like you're doing something wrong, understand that it takes time because momentum requires consistency and refinement over months. That's why I said in the last episode that it's 90-day increments. I've always said that. And then you've got soul healing, it's in layers. It's like layers of an onion. You don't just soul heal once and it clears it all out and you're good to go. It's layers and layers and layers. That's why this takes time because momentum requires consistency and refinement over months. And soul healing is layers over months and years. And trust is built through showing up and refining, not in starting over. So, see, that's the other thing. Every single time you've started over, it breaks down the trust with yourself and your ability and what you're here for and what you're meant to do. And so that kills that confidence in yourself. So I want to kind of give you a timeline that helps pull this together so you can understand what I mean by it takes time. And yes, time is relative. You can manifest and create stuff instantly. Yes, you can. Listen, Queen, if this episode lights something up, don't just sit with it. Come rise with us. The Soulfire podcast is your weekly reminder that healing isn't about fixing who you are. It's about remembering who the fuck you've always been. And if you're craving more than just words, if you want community, authentic power, momentum, and soul transformation, then I want you to come join us in the free Star Guided Soul Healing community. This isn't another group. It's a vortex of women who are done pretending, who are reclaiming their power, their voice, and their divine assignment, and who know they were never meant to do this alone. Inside, we speak truth. We rise with soul-coded frameworks like Rise Times 3 and AUA, plus your own soul-coded values. We break patterns, we burn illusions, and we build empires because we rise. So come be witnessed, come be held, come be at home. Check out the link in the show notes. And please remember to subscribe, share, and send this podcast to a queen who's ready to rise. Now, back to the fire. However, when you're talking about a soul queendom, you're not going to snap your finger and it's all going to be here and be fucking done. That's not how it works. So like months 1 through 3 is where you're learning your design and you're aligning your strategy and you're beginning the healing. Month 4 through 6 is you're building that momentum, you're refining your strategy and you're deepening your healing. It's all done unilaterally. It's a merge. It's not one or the other. It's both and. Month 7 through 9, you're seeing results. You're trusting the process. You're integrating these lessons and you're becoming more and more and more masterful at your birth chart and yourself and understanding yourself. Probably by this point, you have pulled other people's birth charts into your Horos app and you've started studying them and understanding them better to create higher quality relationships with people that are in your quality world. And then months 10 through 12, you're exceeding your income goals. You're feeling aligned and you're building your fucking queendom. It's a 12-month journey, not a 30-day or a 90-day. Yeah, you're building it in 90-day increments, but it's literally a 12-month journey to really set the powerful foundation for your soul and wealth blueprint for you to go on and compound from that. However, if you start over every 60 days, you're never going to get to month 12 and you will never build your queendom. You must. It is a requirement that you stay the course and just refine because literally the course is your soul and wealth blueprint. Literally, it's exactly what you need. There's no question there. Your questions and your refinements and your adjustments come in the strategy, the alignment of the offer, the full point invisibility, maybe branding. Like it's just the refinement of those things. However, your foundation that you're staying the course on is your soul and wealth blueprint that comes from your birth chart. And it is you. It is why you're here. It is what you need. It is how you move. It is literally exactly perfect. And that's what makes this so fucking Brilliant. And layer 5 is refine. Refine, 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 refine. Because building a soul queendom, it means when something doesn't work, you refine it. I keep telling you this, it's so important. It's not about scrapping it, it's just about refining it. But you got to be careful because when you go into refinement, you want to find every single thing that doesn't work and, change it all. No, just change pieces of it. We talked about refinement in the last episode as well, the way that I, refined my stop starting over challenge, right? We talked about how I'm going to refine that the next time I run it. Well, I don't run this specific challenge again until, month 7, like so 7 months from now. However, I can take the things that I'm going to refine from this challenge in month 7 and refine it. Well, actually, it wouldn't be month 7. I think it actually only happens once a year, right? If I'm doing a challenge every month. So it'll be a year before I am able to put the refinements in place for the Stop Starting Over challenge. But my next challenge is called the Wealth Reset, right? And so, well, we're going to be going into the Wealth Reset. If I was going to refine these things for the Stop Starting Over challenge, I'm going to go ahead and make those adjustments right from the gate in the Wealth Reset because I already know that they need to be done in that, right? I'm not going to wait and just, do it for the Stop Starting Over challenge in a year. I'm going to make the refinements when I roll out the wealth reset because it needs to be done for any challenge that I do going forward, and now it becomes the foundation. Okay? When you talk about building your soul queendom, when you feel stuck, disconnecting, something's off, something's misaligned, go deeper into alignment, go deeper into discovery, go deeper into asking yourself quality questions so you can figure out what it is. Do not do what I have done hundreds of times and pivot to a new strategy, hire a new coach, or start a new business. Because here's the deal, you're going to doubt yourself. You are there's going to be things that don't work. You're going to feel stuck and disconnected and misaligned. That's going to happen. We're not talking about perfection here. We're saying when it does happen, return to your soul, your center. Return to your charts, soul and wealth blueprint. Return to these are the things that have worked. These are the things that are great. These are the things that were discombobulated that I need to refine so it can get better next time. No need to go out there and start looking at someone else's shit and copying it because refining is how you build momentum and restarting is how you stay stuck. Write that the fuck down. Refining is how you build momentum and restarting is how you stay stuck. Which brings us to layer number 6, where you need to learn to integrate cosmic timing. The planets are always shifting and moving and doing shit, squares and trines and all of these fucking things. And your soul queendom is built in the energy of this cosmic timing. It's coming from your birth chart. It's built in cycles, just like planets are going in cycles, right? So it's important that you understand if your soul queendom is built in cycles and you're working off the energy of the planetary cycles, it's really important that you integrate it or it's going to feel disconnected. I did a podcast episode 2 episodes ago all about Mercury retrograde, right? Why would I do that in this? Well, because that whole episode was how Mercury retrograde fucks with your money and your soul and what to do instead, right? So that's cosmic timing. That's what Mercury is doing. And Mercury will wreak havoc if you are working against it, whether inadvertently or intentionally, it will wreak havoc. It doesn't need you to have the conscious awareness that Mercury is in retrograde for it to kick your ass. So you want to learn to work with new moons, right? Because those are for planting seeds and setting intentions. And full moons are all about releasing what's not aligned, what's not working, the things that feel disconnected and just doesn't feel good. Retrogrades in general are about reviewing and refining underneath whatever planet that is. So if it's Mercury that's retrograde, you're going to review and refine. It's all about the re's, right? And it will bring up things and all in areas of your life around communication issues for you to review and refine and reflect on, right? But if it's Mars that is in retrograde, Mars is going to go back to action that you were taking, things you were doing, things that you had once started and thought about creating. And it's going to ask you to revisit them, right? Review, reflect, and refine. Like, look at things that you once started and you stopped. Or Mars is going to say, hey, look at this action that you've been taking. Once it's in retrograde, it's going to blare it in your face. It's going to go, is this action serving you? Is this giving you what you want? Is this leading you to where you want to go? When you talk about Venus, Venus is a planet of love and romance and intimacy and relationships, right? So if Venus is in retrograde, you get it? So when the planet is in retrograde, it's asking you to review, reflect, and refine in the area of the energy of that planet. And these fucking planets are moving all the time. They're doing shit all the time. So if you ain't paying attention, they're going to kick your ass. And one of the biggest ones that I think are highly underrated, well, there's two that I think are highly underrated. One is eclipses. They're huge for quantum leaps and transformations, right? And eclipses are also endings and beginnings. So that's something else to note. So there's a lot going on. If you have a lunar eclipse or a solar eclipse and you've got that going on, and it's layered on top of a moon cycle and a planet is in retrograde, you got to know what that means for your soul and for your wealth, or it's going to kick your fucking ass, kick you off the track. You're going to feel like a failure. You're going to feel like you fucked it all up. You're going to feel like there's something wrong with you. You don't really feel connected to this, not connected to that, and this is going on there, and this is going on there. Probably because a planet in which you are working under that energy is in retrograde and it's calling for your attention, but you're ignoring it, but it's really just fucking plummeting you. And then the next one are portals. And I know, don't fucking judge me. I'm going to just put this out there and be honest. There's so much to learn about astrology that I am so good telling you the truth. I was literally like 41, so the age I am right now at the time that I'm recording this podcast, years old, when I realized that there's a portal every single month. I didn't know that there was a portal every single month. January 1st, February 2nd, March 3rd, April 4th, so on and so forth. 1 1, 2 2, 3 3, 4 4. There's portals every single month. And each one of these portals holds extremely powerful energy for your transformation of your soul and your wealth. So when you align your strategy with cosmic timing, you're literally building with the universe, the abundance, the prosperity, and it is fucking fire. And it is abso-fucking-lutely not easy, but it's worth it. And it can be simple, and it can be fun, and it can be exciting, and it can be alive, and it could be fire, right? Because building a soul empire is like the long game. It's literally the work you're here to do while you're here to do it so that you can leave a legacy or so that it's your retirement plan or whatever the fuck so you could be, do, and have anything you want. It's 12 months of commitment, first and foremost, to set a solid and powerful foundation. It's consistent soul healing. It's aligned strategy execution. It's trust when you can't see the results yet. It's refining instead of restarting and showing up even when it's hard. But remember what I said in the last episode. You might work 9 hours today and fucking slay it, grind your business. You feel highly productive. You got so much shit done. And then tomorrow, like, fuck, man, I only have 2 hours. I woke up and I watched the Kardashians and then I had a cup of tea and then I, stretched my knee and then I was like, fuck this. I don't have any energy. And then, 2, 3 p.m. came and I was like, okay, I'm going to jump in. I'm going to get some work done. I'm going to make some shit happen. So I jump in, I do that, I do the work, right? And then boom, I'm off for the day because that was the energy that I had. I showed up that day even though it was hard. Like I didn't want to do it. Right now, I'm recording this podcast episode. It's not that I don't want to be here recording the podcast episode because I fucking love my Soulfire podcast. I love it. Real life, real shit, real raw. I love this podcast. And you'll hear me say that in every season in multiple episodes. But it's gloomy outside today. My knee's being a fucking asshole. It's been a really emotional couple of days. I've cried a lot. I've been shedding a lot. And I do have a chunk of work to do, right? I have a chunk of work to do for the Stop Starting Over challenge. And I love the energy of what I'm in right now in this container that I've built, but my body's calling for rest and slow down. So I'm like, okay, well, you've got shit to do. So I sat down and I said, okay, I'm going to record podcast episodes. One, at a bare minimum, I'm going to get the 3 podcast episodes that I have left for the year recorded, right? I batch my episodes. I got to. I got to batch it when I've got it. Otherwise, I get behind. And if you noticed in season 4, there's been multiple times that I didn't release a podcast on a Thursday. That's because I didn't batch episodes. So that tells me doing 1 podcast episode a week, like recording it once a week, that doesn't work for me. That doesn't work for my soul and wealth blueprint. Batching it and getting in that energy and just fucking slaying 3 to 4 episodes at one time. Maybe that's the only work that I do for the day, but now my podcasts are done and set for the month, right? And so for me, that's so powerful. For other people, that would seem daunting. So for my schedule, I want to share this with you because I think that this is important. Showing up even when it gets hard is what we're really talking about here. I think that this is so important about what I do for my days. Every day I have, this is my number one thing that I'm going to complete and achieve today. After that, I want to do this. And after that, I want to do that. One of my favorite, almost reverends, she talks about doing things in threes, like for my knee, rehabilitation, prayer, and walking. Threes. Those are the 3 things that I'm doing, right? So I choose 3 things. So today I am like, okay, podcast episodes, even though there's 3 episodes, I'm not going to let those be the individual 3. That could have been, one way of doing it, but my personality does not, it doesn't work like that. So, the podcast is 1, right? 2 is I want to work on something for my Birthchart Soul Plus Wealth Blueprint program. I don't know if I'm going to refine my strategy calls. That's a lot of brain power. Or if I want to work on my welcome packet. More than likely, it's going to be the welcome packet because I don't have the brain power, right? So that's 2. And then number 3 is my profit levers and just clearing my Facebook messages and comments, right? Those are the 3 things that I want to do while I'm sitting down and working. Here's another thing that I do. When my body is asking for rest or slow down and not a lot, those are the 3 things that I wanted to get done today, right? Well, the podcast episodes are going to take like 3 hours to record alone. So, what happens when I get done with the podcast episodes and I don't have any more energy for, let's say, the welcome packet that I want to create and then my daily profit levers? Does the welcome packet and the daily profit levers just get kicked out until, tomorrow or another day or whatever? Not yet. I follow what I need. I'm fucking starving. I fast for 16 hours and I'm recording these podcast episodes, right? So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to record the podcast episodes and then I'm going to break. I'm going to eat. I'm going to slow down. I'm going to take a second to reset and just like tune in, recharge, and see where I'm at. If I recharge enough that I can only do one more thing, I'm going to focus on my profit levers because a welcome packet can wait. I'll do my profit levers and then be done. Great thing about my profit levers is I can do them from my phone. So I don't have to go and be in a specific place. Right now I'm working, from the couch because I can lift up my legs and really do a stretch on my knee, but then I can put it down and give my knee a break. But I'm not sitting at my desk where my knee is hanging all day and my ankles are swelling and I'm stiffening it up, right? I don't really love working from the couch, but it's better than causing my knee more issues from the office. And it's way better than working from the bed where I'm annoyed and I can't get positioned, even though I have a adjustable bed and all of these things. And so the couch is my middle ground. So my point in telling you this is I always have a plan. And yes, I usually do have more than 3 things on my list, but I have my top 3. Okay, that's what I mean. My 3 main things. It's okay if the welcome packet doesn't get done today, but the profit levers is what moves my business forward. The podcast it's season wrap. I want to do it. I want to record it, right? So I'm not saying that it feels hard today, but I can tell I don't have a lot of output because of my emotional shed that I've done over the last couple of days. Okay? So I'm explaining to you how fucking powerful this is. You've got 12 months of commitment. You don't have to work a business schedule that's like Monday through this or through that. Work and flow if that works with your personality. Show up and do and break and show up and do and break. It never used to work for my personality. This would make me fucking crazy. I'd be like, then how would I get anything done? Da, 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 da. But I've learned to refine that. I've transformed myself a lot. I've grown a lot. I've worked on being in flow for 3 or 4 straight years because I've been a workaholic, a hard hitter, type A personality, go, 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 do, 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 push, 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 masculine energy all the fucking time on over goddamn drive, where the feminine energy never really has time to show up. And then I collapse, have a burnout, breakdown, feminine energy shows up. I'm crying all the time. I'm in my soft girl era for however long I'm in that. And I'm like, fuck this, let's go. We got shit to do. And boom, I'm back into that masculine cycle. Was, right? But I've broken that. And now it's like I might, like I said, work 9 hours. I think I said this in the last episode. I might, or maybe it was this one, I don't fucking remember. Work 9 hours and then the next day work two, or maybe none. It just depends. And I'm okay with that. I'm good with it. I know what's on my list. I know what needs to get done. I'll tend to do my profit levers, even if I do no other work. I'll still do my profit levers because I can do them from my phone. It doesn't feel like there's so much energy that needs to be exerted. And the reason why there's a 12-month commitment is so you can build this step by step, rung right by rung, and so you can have a compound result of the effort. I know that your birth chart plus your soul healing plus how you build your wealth is the fucking answer. I know that because I like literally kind of tripped up onto this when I was teaching using astrology and the moon, really, just the moon cycle, full moon and new moon to heal your soul. I watched someone who has been in therapy for 15 years, was on antidepressants, was completely inundated by her life, and uh her relationship with her husband was estranged because they were working opposite shifts and life was so full and busy. I think they had 4 children. She was teaching at, I think, maybe one or two different karate studios. There's a lot going on. There was a lot of weight, there was a lot of pressure. And I told her, I was like, if you trust me, we can get you off the antidepressants. Because she was done. She didn't want to be on the antidepressants. She was done with going to therapy. She didn't feel like it was giving her what it needed. Said, if you trust me and you do what I tell you to do, you'll be able to do it. I'm gonna teach you how to do it with the full moon and new moon and my soul healing modalities and strategies. So she trusted me and she did it. I was thinking it was just going to help realign her life, her relationship with her partner, her relationship with herself, so she could make more powerful decisions for herself. Fuck, man, she quit this job. She started a new job, started making more money, spoke up, said what she wouldn't do. She said what she would ask for. It was fucking brilliant. And that's how I know that this is the jam. So it's 12 months of commitment. It's consistent soul healing. It's just line strategy execution. It's trust when you can't see the results, refining instead of restarting, and showing up even when it feels hard, but doing it all in fucking flow and in full alignment with your fucking self. Because when you do that, here's what you get: a business that exceeds your income goals, income that's sustainable and feels so good in your soul, work that fulfills your soul, makes you feel significant, that the money doesn't matter, but there's so much of it that it's exciting. Freedom to live your life instead of being enslaved by your business. That confidence, the confidence that comes from building in your frequency, which, by the way, is the reason why season 5 is called Wealth in Your Frequency. A legacy that reflects your values, an alignment that you can feel in your body. And it's so clear that when you're misaligned, you feel it instantly. That's what's possible when you build your soul queendom. And it's worth every single fucking moment of this journey. Think, oh my God, 12 months, that's such a long time. How long have you been in business? How long have you been doing your best to exceed income goals? How long have you been, doing your best to show up daily so that your vision board becomes a reality? How long have you been wanting and longing for this and that? How long have you wished you could be, do, and have anything you want? How long has fill in the blank been? Is 12 months really that long from how much time and energy and effort that you've spent and wasted, even money that you've wasted? Is it really that long to feel fucking phenomenal in your soul? That's why I do this, because we want to exceed our income goals. We want to create what it is we know we were here to do, but we don't want to feel like a failure while doing it, right? And that's why I teach you how to line everything, your business, your strategy, like everything with your birth chart, soul and wealth blueprint. Okay? That's why I teach you that. Step 1 from this podcast, if you haven't done it already, is to click the link and send me a message on Facebook that says Queen. I'm going to give you a free mini money birth chart reading, and it is so good. It's going to teach you where you're meant to make money, how you're meant to make money, and what your soul is here for. From there, make sure that you are in the Queen's Exile Facebook group. This is where I'm teaching you through my content. This is where my challenges are. Community.thesoulhealingzone.com. Again, that's community.thesoulhealingzone.com. It's time for you to build your queendom. Okay, it's time for you to commit to 12 months of aligned strategy where you refine, 12 months of soul healing where you refine, 12 months of momentum building where you refine. Do you feel like it's time? Do you feel that fucking fire in your soul? It's time to build your soul queendom and commit to the aligned strategy, the soul healing, and the momentum building. Do you feel that call, that urge, that pull, that push, that burn to exceed your income goals and feel fucking amazing when you do it? Then let's talk. Let's move. Let's get you there. Because the world needs who you were made to be. So show up every single fucking day as the badass you are and slay. And if no one's told you today, you are worth it. You are always worth it. I'm Power Coach Alicia, and we'll see you next time. Embody this. Choose yourself so completely that nobody gets to question your worth again. Extend to your soul the same mercy you once gave away to people who fucking dropped it. And stop shrinking to be chosen by people who can't even hold you. You're not a placeholder. You're the fucking revolution. So show up, speak up, and burn the damn box. I'm Power Coach Alicia, and this is your invitation to rise.